Hey everyone, welcome to the Front Row with Ed. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ed DeBoo, physical therapist out of Bellingham, Washington. Today I'm going to talk about hip pain, more specifically glute pain, and even more specifically glute medius pain. Now if you ever had pain on the top part of this hip, radiates down into the butt maybe just a little bit, it could be your gluteus medius muscle, and more specifically trigger points in the gluteus medius. So let's first meet the muscle and figure out how these trigger points can affect our pain.
In this example, we're looking at the right gluteus medius and hip. And where you see the white X is where the trigger points are generally located. And anywhere you see the red is where we can get referred pain, all stemming from trigger points in the top part of that glute. That's why it's so important to explore that area. We'll talk about how we're going to do that.
So as you can see in that diagram, I could have pain and tenderness up on this gluteus medius here that radiates all the way down the leg. So we have to do two things. First thing we have to do is reduce the amount of tenderness in the trigger points, if there are any. And the second thing is we've got to get this glute stronger again. Let's first talk about how we're going to foam roll that area to reduce a little bit of tenderness. In this example, my left hip, my left gluteus medius specifically, is the one that I'm after. So what I'll do is I'm going to rotate a little bit to my left so I can have my body weight on there. That body weight is what's going to put a little pressure on there so I can explore that area. I'm going to come all the way down so that foam roller comes all the way up to the top of that iliac crest, and you'll feel it. Basically the top part of your butt. That's the technical way to think about it. What I'm doing now is I'm exploring the whole area. And then what I do is I search and destroy. So if I find something that's a little bit tender, I stay right on that area, small little motions, 30 seconds to a minute, and then I move on. You can overdo it, so when you're first starting this, do not do it more than about 30 seconds to a minute. After I've done that, the other way I'm going to do it is I'm going to cross my leg. When I cross my leg, still same thing, I'm going to rotate over to this left side, and I'm going to first explore the whole area, and any place that I find some tenderness, I'm going to search and destroy, 30 seconds to a minute, move on and do the next one. After I'm done foam rolling, ideally I want to stretch the area out. The glute medius is a tough one to stretch, but at least I can cross my leg this way, bring this leg up, rotate over until I feel a nice stretch in this glute area. There's multiple ways to do it. If you're a yoga person, you can do pigeon, but the idea is to try to get a little bit of a stretch in through that area. You can also do this in a chair. Imagine I'm sitting in a chair with my leg crossed. I'm going to hold that stretch 30 seconds, repeat that a couple times. Not a bad idea to go ahead and do the other leg as well while you're down here for a little contrast. Well, here you've seen this as a clam. I'm keeping my feet together and slowly rotating up, and I'm really focusing on feeling it right on the top part of the glute. As that starts to get easier, I can actually lift up and rotate. Lift up and rotate. You're going to feel that right in the glute. Once that starts to get easier, imagine if I had a TheraBand I can put around my knees right here. Once again, I'm going to palpate that muscle so I can feel it firing, and I'm going to pull up and slowly get that to get stronger again. Usually we're looking at 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps to get a nice burn in through there. After you've progressed and you feel stronger with the ground-based exercises, we're going to start working on what we call a speed skater squat. The idea here is I don't want to be really high up where my knee translates forward over my knees. What's happening here is, first of all, it puts a lot of stress on this patellofemoral joint. Secondly, it's a little bit more ankle and quad dominant, and what we're really after is getting this glute to be stronger. I'm going to lean forward here, try to be in tabletop here. With my weight forward, it makes it a little bit easier for me to focus, sit back into my stool a little bit here, and feel it right in that glute. A couple things you want to watch out for. You want to make sure this knee does not translate to the inside. That's another sign of weak gluteus as well. If you're not sure, test yourself. See how you do. If your knee starts to collapse in, then you know you've got some glute weakness. You're not ready to do the speed skater squat. You're better off doing the lying down ones on your side until you can feel stronger again. Okay, let's summarize what we just learned. If you are having hip pain, it could be from the gluteus medius. Gluteus medius has trigger points in the top part of the glute that can refer pain all the way down through the SI joint, all the way down the top part of the leg. So what you'll do is you'll get the foam roller out and work that area first. If you have trigger points in the area, you can assume that part of your problem with hip pain is coming from those trigger points. After you've worked the trigger points, usually takes about 2 weeks of working the trigger points, usually 3 to 5 times a week until you start to see that it starts to get less tender. Then what you want to do is you want to stretch it, and then you want to slowly strengthen it as tolerated. First start off with side lying exercises. As those get easier, progress into the speed skater squat, and then you can even get into dynamic stuff where you're landing, making sure that knee does not collapse in. If you have any questions, leave it down below. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. If you have a question and want to see a video on something, let me know. I may just do that. All right, take care. We'll see you.